Financial Survival Network, helping you survive and thrive in the new economy. Go to CarrieLutz.com and sign up for 30 free micro trainings on financial survival.
The show is brought to you by Miles Franklin. When it comes to protecting your wealth, you know there's nothing better than gold and silver. And when I want gold and silver, I go to Miles Franklin because they've been around 22 years, and when you buy, they ship. For more information, go to milesfranklin.com or call them at 800-822-8080 and get a free quote. 1490 WGCH. This is Kerry Lutz. You're listening to the Financial Survival Network. Time for another Triple Lutz report. So, if you're fed up with high taxes, if you happen to be a cigarette smoker and you can't stop, well, there was a loophole that was available to you, but it's probably not going to be available to you much longer. In New York, this one really had Nanny Bloomberg's panties in a bunch. Simply, if you're a smoker, you could go to a store, buy filters, buy papers, buy some tobacco, ostensibly pipe tobacco, which isn't subjected to $5 a pack exorbitant taxes to feed the New York City welfare state and the U.S. welfare state. You could buy all this and then put it in a machine, and it would roll your own cigarettes for you. And then you wouldn't have to pay all these ridiculous taxes. Well, obviously, you know, something like this can't go on too long because you got two tremendous constituencies rising up against you. You've got the government, because you're cheating them out of taxes because they didn't think of this when they passed the exorbitant tax increases on cigarettes. They raised the per pack tax on cigarettes, and I think they did it on cigars, but they left pipe tobacco alone. And this tobacco ostensibly isn't pipe tobacco, but it's marketed as such. So you got the government against you because you're cheating them out of their money. I mean, their money is actually your money. And then you got big tobacco, because big tobacco is saying, hey, this isn't fair. They have to pay the taxes when they buy a pack of Marlboros or a pack of Salems or Cools, but if they roll their own, they don't have to pay it. And therefore, they're going to switch to cheaper substitutes. And this is pure economics. A lot of people were doing it. There's actually a guy out there who was marketing machines. He made the machines right here in the U.S., and he would sell them to tobacco shops around the country at $30,000 each. He sold a lot of them. He's going to be out of business now. And you can thank this atrocity. You can thank Senator Max Baucus of Montana. He's a Democrat. Not that that matters, because the whole Senate voted to make this an amendment to the highway bill. Now, what, you may ask, does roll your own cigarettes taxation have to do with the highway bill? And the answer, quite simply, is nothing. This is the way your Congress works. This is the way they screw you and the rest of us over by lumping bills together. They're making sausage up on Capitol Hill. And they're not increasing the taxes on roll your own. They're just increasing regulation so that anyone who has one of these machines will be regulated as if they were a cigarette manufacturer. And there's a whole bunch of licensing regulations and health regulations, and they have to label these cigarettes. They have to label the pack saying, if you smoke this stuff, it'll kill you. You know, your children will be left as orphans. Your wife will become a widow because you're going to get lung cancer and you will die. And that might very well be the case. But where does the government get off telling them they have to say that? That has always been wrong. It's forced speech. Forced speech is a violation of the First Amendment. The whole tobacco regulatory scheme is a violation of the First Amendment, because it's okay to say what you want unless you are advertising tobacco, in which case you can't advertise it at all. That wasn't what the founders of our country, the guys who wrote the Constitution, had in mind when they said freedom of speech was okay. Sure, freedom of speech, you can put reasonable limitations on the time, place, and manner, such as someone in a theater, a crowded theater, you don't allow them to yell fire because it's going to harm people. But look, the risks of tobacco smoking are well known. Everyone knows them. Everybody who's been born in the past 100 years knows this stuff is no good for you, but they make a decision that they want to do it anyway, so they get some benefit from it. And yeah, the tobacco companies have gotten them addicted, and they're just helpless people. They can't decide, so they need to be protected from themselves, blah blah blah. You know how this is. You know the drill. And this is a means of big tobacco eliminating little tobacco, and every regulatory scheme out there is all about getting rid of weak competitors to protect the large, dominant companies in an industry. And let's face it, the tobacco companies, since they put all these regulations on tobacco and all these restrictions, they've never made more money. They're more profitable than they have ever been, and to a large extent, it is due to the fact that these regulations keep out competitors. And both the largest tobacco company in the country, Altria, which used to be Philip Morris, and Liggett, which is the fourth largest company, both of them were lobbying against these roll-your-own machines. Now, look, this is just the way the government works, okay? The government doesn't care about you. They're not out to protect you. They're not out to stop you from being ripped off. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is rewarding their contributors, paying off the interest groups, forwarding corporativism in the United States. This is corporativism. It is fascism. It is the government picking winners and losers. They just said to the little machine company, sorry, you're a loser. Big Tobacco's a winner. And they get to say that they're doing this for your own good. Isn't that so nice of them? They're trying to help you. And they even got this gal, Kathleen DeShiel. She's director of the Center for Tobacco Regulation at the University of Maryland Law School. And she said that cheap cigarettes hurt public health by removing an incentive for people to quit smoking. So she said Congress was right to act. And she said, there's a reason we have high taxation and high regulation of cigarettes in this country. Yeah, there is. It is theft. It is just another way of taking more money out of your pocket to feed the ravenous machine of government, to keep it going, to let them pass more laws, to expand the power, the scope of government. That's all this is about. And to pay off their buddies in big tobacco, to pay off the lobbyists, so the lobbyists get fed, everybody gets fed. The guy that makes the machines, sorry, you know what? You took on big government, you took on big tobacco, you're finished. Don't think of doing it again. Don't be creative. Don't come up with loopholes, because when you cost the government money, they're going to come after you. It's really that simple. And Bacchus, to sum it all up, he said, disguising one kind of tobacco as another simply to evade taxes just isn't right. So our amendment helps fix that problem while maintaining funds that keep teachers in classrooms and improve county roads. Now, I thought that the whole tobacco settlement, that the money coming from the cigarette companies was supposed to help improve people's health, get them to stop smoking. He shows the lie that the fact of the matter is the whole purpose of cigarette taxes, alcohol taxes, gasoline taxes, feed the government machine, keep the corrupt force of government going, keep it expanding till it dominates and takes over everything. The government will not be happy until they've stomped out all innovation, all creativity, until we're all wearing Mao jackets. This is Kerry Lutz, been another Triple Lutz Report, signing out.